What's up? No one else is streaming. Country cut it short. So I figured I'd do one for a little while. Just cause gives me something to do. I gotta figure this out. Why this thing is not reading. No layers. Nothing. It's still printing over there. It just came on and all of a sudden layer 96 just stopped. But it's still printing. Oh look, the layer just moved. So it is printing out the layers, but it's telling me it's 100%. I don't know. People wonder why I want to have just a cheapo screen on a Duet. Just go away. No, never do. Don't care. Don't want it. Don't care. Well, someone is streaming. Someone streaming? I don't believe so. So anyways, I'm just going to work on my little Flappy Bird. Yeah, I'll even let you sort of see it. I'll go down there. On the Flappy Bird. The Flappy Bird. So, I need a piece of filament. So I'll just snip one out of here. And need my glasses because I'm old and blind. Can't see anything close to my face. I have a feeling that, oh, it actually went in there somewhat. So it's like going 3/4 of the way through. That figures. And of course, all my drill bits are outside. Yes, sir, Bob, they're all outside. No, what I do have now are some empty screws somewhere. One of these here guys. I have some M2 screws, which I bet I can take an M2 screw. There we go. Kind of use it as a reaming tool. And that's an M3. in an M2 slot, which is not where it belongs. Too big. I thought it would be. Yeah, look, it's not over there. I can pop that off too. So after them two screw goes through, 1.75 should slide right in there. Come on. Thing holds a little too well. Somewhere around I have a drill bit that would do this perfectly, and I don't know what the hell I do with it. What's up? Something to do. Country kicked early, so nobody else streaming, is there? I didn't see anybody. Figured I'd do it for an hour and kill some time. I don't think there's anybody here. I don't have a drill bit out here, and it's like 30 degrees out and like 90-mile-an-hour winds, not exaggerating. Like, it's unreal. I'm waiting for the power to kick. It's so windy out. So I am not going outside to my van to get the drill bits because frickin' burr. And it ain't worth it. I'll do this for all night long before I go outside. I just don't want to deal with the cold right now. I just took a shower and I feel all clean and warm and put on some nice cozy traction socks. And they are comfortable. And I'm not going outside. Not happening. I like my traction socks. Hospital socks. Want to jump in, dude? We can just BS. It's kind of a hangout stream, do nothing. I just need to make it. I want the filament to slide through, but not slip through, if that makes sense. So this M2 screw I should get rid of my keyboard. I have a really nice computer, like E10 or whatever they call it, keyboard for the computer. Like a really nice one. Well, it was really nice back in the day. It's probably crap in today's world. All right. Seems to be. Gotta be tight there, don't you? Not so bad though. Not tight enough, so it should fit right through there. If I go like so, and stick that in there, that should line up with that there. Slide right through, line up with that there. Did that catch? Yep, it's there. No, I can't get it back. There we go. And the wingy flaps. Homework. You're probably smarter than you are in today's homework. I went to help one of my nieces, I don't know, this is like 10 years ago, with their homework. I couldn't even understand what the hell they were trying to do. She had to explain to me what they were talking about. And I remember doing it in high school, but couldn't for the life of me remember what the hell I was doing. Wow, that's so much better. This is like the third iteration. It flaps, it flies. Fly, birdie, fly. Okay, this will work. That's definitely loose enough. I was just using the plastic before, but it was too rough, and as it flapped, it would like twist sideways like this and bind. So what I did was make my little joint bigger in here, and there's actually a piece of the PTFE tubing in there. Little tiny chunk. That makes it all nice and slippery for the filaments. And they can all just work. So I guess I can glue this thing together, although I don't know why I did it today. I have one with a hook on the bottom, which was the latest. And this morning I got up half in a day's fog thinking about this thing again. But of course, edited one that wasn't the newest one. Didn't have the hook on the bottom. It needs a string hook. But that's just peachy. I can always add that later. Everything looks smashing. Looks pretty cool, don't it? Looks like a hawk. Flying. Flappy. Flappy Bird. And it's very nicely. The PTFE tube was a brilliant idea by me, because it's working smashingly. So now I got to figure out how to balance it. That's the next thing. Which I got an idea, but now I got to design the idea to figure out how to balance it, where to place the actual things, because I actually printed this much heavier than the last two too. The wings are at 40% infill with 4 top and bottom, where before they were at like 15 or 20% infill with 3 top and bottom. So the wings are much heavier. And the body is redesigned with a different hollow, which is a little heavier, but not as heavy as the wing. So I should be able to put my pivot points farther out instead of being real tight to the body. Suppose I can glue that body together now. I suppose. And this here thing's done pretty. See how this one came out, because the last two, for some reason, held to the bed beautifully, but when I popped them off, the bottom face of it was absolutely terrible. It's better. They're still usable. It's not as bad as the last two. I think I'm actually too high. I think one of my magnets actually fell off. Look at that. Like new. Like new. This is actually for the Max Micron. I never liked the stock one. So I made one, but I put this hole off center. And ended up, I think I threw it out already because it pissed me off. Ended up having to hack it out with a knife to make it all fit right, and it looked really hokey. And then yesterday I printed another one, but it came out really bad on that because I was printing it at 0.4 layer height instead of 0.2, which that does all right, but the first layer always comes out really, really crappy. I don't know why. I actually do the first layer at 0.22, but I don't like it for some reason. And not only that, it's rattling. I actually got a piece of tape jammed in there to keep the screen from rattling, because even though it's better, it's still not perfect. So, what's up? Want to jump in? Yeah, that's actually the only reason I started it. There, jump in here, buddy. If you want, it's up to you. It's much nicer if I have people to talk to. You're more interesting than I am. So, anyways, I now have another screen to try on the Max Micron. Holy crap, there's a lot of ripples in that. Did I leave this at 0.4 layer height? I might have. Kind of looks like I did. Not that it really matters.
Whoops.
What's up, Carl? White Knight, dude?
Yeah, hold on. I got to reposition the camera.
Yeah, you think? All I can see is slippers. You got slippers on, man.
Yeah, I'm cheating.
Oh, you should see what I'm wearing. I just got these today. I was showing them off earlier. Ooh.
Grip socks, huh?
I love these things. Dude, I have a pair of these that I will not get rid of. That, no lie, when I had my first car accident in 83, I still have a pair of the hospital socks I gave you back at the hospital.
Yeah, can you tell how paranoid I am of scratching the black anodization?
Yeah.
I broke out a Christmas blanket because it was the only thing I could find that would. I wasn't too worried about scratching it.
Well, that's bizarre.
What's that?
Well, I'm using the Brave browser. I don't know if you know what Brave browser is, but it's a new browser that's coming out. What's up, Wellbot?
I taped the rest of it up in blue painter's tape so I didn't scratch it while I was cutting it. And
yeah, that's a good idea. You know, the problem with that is, though, when you go to peel it off, all the ends of it's going to have all the little shaving stuck to it.
Oh, yeah. I do it over the barrel, so I just peel it off and I drop it in the barrel. And as long as I don't rub, as long as I don't work it too much, the shaving shouldn't do any damage. It didn't hurt this at all, so.
Yeah, no, it's just you make a mess when you peel the tape off because
the hardest part of this is done. All the openings have been cut. Openings are cut. And slide tray has been fitted and tested. And
all right, I got a new screen cover for the Max Micron. That's actually halfway decent.
okay, what's hanging up? Oh, I see. Okay. I got to make a small adjustment.
I see 3D. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it, man. So,
Just got to tighten up some screws a little bit more.
the funny thing is this screw right here. But when I have another one of these on the Max Micron right now that I printed yesterday, I guess it was, but it's all, the face of it's all really bad. It didn't hold to the bed well. Anyway, it started rattling. I thought this lower screw was loose. Found it like this facing me. So I put the thing on it, and I've got lock nuts on it because I hate regular nuts coming loose. They always come loose on these things. So I put lock nuts on it. Well, I got to put the wrench on it, and it's printing at the time. And all of a sudden, I'm like wrenching, and all of a sudden the printer just stops. Resets. So there must be one of the little solder tabs on the board right here at this mounting hole. Must be the reset tab.
Oops.
Because it just reset the whole printer.
This is weird.
No sparks or nothing. It just all of a sudden stopped and reset.
I'm trying to figure out where I messed up something. I printed the exact same files I printed for the last one.
No, you didn't. You're lying.
All the measurements are the same.
Lying to yourself. You be lying to yourself.
520. And yet, I'm short like 3/16 of an inch for depth over here for some reason.
This chair reminds me of my sister-in-law.
I may have to try drilling out the slide tray and moving the end cap a little bit to make it work. That's weird. No, I'll fine tune that later.
So I'm sliding around in my chair, and I got a kind of a laugh because my sister-in-law was my brother and sister-in-law were on vacation in Europe, and she slipped somehow or another and broke her ankle really badly, like broke her leg and her ankle and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, we got home and blah blah blah. They came home early, medical deals. So I went over because I had to put some handrails in her staircases because she needs handrails on both sides going into the house and up the stairs. So I slapped some quick handrails in her house for her. And she's rolling around in her chair, and she's got the crutches and the wheelchair and all that. And I'm like, she's just going around the whole house in an office chair on wheels. And I'm starting to laugh. She's, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "Well, you're kind of rolling around in a chair instead of a wheelchair." And she goes, "It's so much better. Wheelchairs today are a pain in the ass. The office chairs roll better. They're smoother. They're smaller. It's lighter." She goes, "It's just so much more convenient." I was like, "Yeah, I guess it is. Wish I had it when I was thought of that when I was all busted up, rolling around." It's just kind of funny that she was rolling around in a little chair. I am going to put little rubber. Did that do all four? Oh, please tell me it did all four.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So Wellbot and Nappin both jumped in. Hi, guys. Thought I heard you say something about that while I was fidgeting with my printer.
What's annoying, Wellbot?
Probably me printing the same files and something not lining up right.
Use the same printer? I can't believe you built that whole thing and then handed it off to him.
Well, I needed to have testing done, and someone that's better to. I'm terrible at fine tuning a printer.
Yeah, I'm not. I get to a point and I'm like, good enough.
Mike's a little bit better at it, and he's got some projects he's doing for Murph, and certain sponsors really wanted him to use the belt printer to print a few pieces before. Well, there wasn't time to get 2 of them built, so I wish I had the other one sitting here side by side to go back and forth every once in a while. There's been at least 3 times I've had to send him a text going, dude, which way did I wire this? I couldn't remember if I did the end stops normally open or normally closed. So I was like, dude, which pins did I use on that switch? The 2 outer ones or the center one?
Well, that's a duet, right?
Yeah.
My duet's freaking out. It has
Really?
been for like a week, yeah.
The only thing
all of a sudden, in the middle, for no reason, I'll get temp errors. It'll just shut off. And I'm thinking, okay, there's something shorting out. Nothing shorting out.
That sounds like you got a wiring issue to your thermistor.
No, because it does it to the bed every once in a while. It does it to the frickin'... I think the board's going bad, to be honest. It does it to the hot end once in a while. It does it to the bed once in a while. No rhyme or reason. Sometimes it'll do it during warm-up. And now it's I hook it up, and I'll look at the web control, and it'll be printing away, and it'll tell me it's not doing anything. It'll just be sitting there. I mean, it'll still read out your readings and head positions, but none of the updating stuff, none of it worked.
Oh, somebody's jumping in here
on intermittent times too. It's doing all kinds of weird things intermittently. It's just telling me the board's on its way out.
Sorry, I was sneaking in, but Tom was talking, so I didn't want to say anything.
Oh, always sees the gray screen for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I was trying Streamlabs. I'm going to switch back over to OBS. Hold on.
Now refresh my memory. PT3D. Who am I talking to?
Oh, that's Clyde.
Okay.
You know Clyde.
I'm terrible with remembering people's names, so I'll probably ask you 20 more times.
Hey, Carl, it's all right. So am I.
Carl, I still call you Knack every time you're naked because I can't remember your actual name every time.
Oh, same here. Same here. I mean, who do you think was chatting you up at your little get-together there the other day with the belt?
Okay.
Yeah, I was all over that.
Oh, you were there too?
No, I wasn't there, but I was razzing him on there because it was the most interesting thing I had going on.
Oh, what they broadcast?
Yeah, Matt and Chris both broadcast it, which I did not. I knew they were going to film it. I just didn't realize they were going to live stream it, and it totally caught me off guard because I wasn't prepared for them to live stream.
What the hell's the difference to you?
I was like, okay, yeah, and I'm talking to the cameras. I wasn't ready for it. You know, I was last minute doing tweaks on it before we loaded it in the car and took it there. And I got there, everything is like, next thing I know, I'm sitting there talking about it, and Matt goes, Carl, we got a question from the chat. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, oh crap, I'm live worldwide. Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you wouldn't believe how many people were talking about your stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like everybody stopped talking whenever. No offense to anybody else that was presenting that day, but I got to tell you, everybody was just dying over what you did with the belt because that thing is a sexy beast. I can't tell you anything better than that. It really is.
Who's the other one doing a belt? There's a guy in Europe doing one at the same time right now.
Scalda was building one. He actually Black Belt released their Fusion 360 files for their original prototype that they used for their not their GoFundMe, but their what the heck you call it?
Whatever. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know, where they ask everybody to support them and help start up whatever startup. Yeah, and he actually took the time to break up because I guess they didn't publish it. They published it out there, but they didn't publish it with scale. So he had to sit there and figure out one piece so then he could scale everything else by it and everything.
Yeah.
So he broke it all out into its individual pieces and scaled it and put the metric 3 threads and 5 threads where they needed to be and everything else. And he was going to print it. And I released mine, and he posted something on Twitter saying, you know, okay, well, I'm kind of running short on funds and time, and well, Knack 3D beat me to the punch, and to be honest, his is a far superior machine to what I'm looking at here. So I'm just going to put this aside for now. And he published all the files and didn't do anything else. The biggest problem I saw with the prototype that they published was, and I don't know what they were thinking when they did it, I kind of laughed when I saw what they published. Was okay. Here's the beginning of the print belt, and it goes this way. Okay. On mine, my control panel is here, so the print is always growing away from the control panel. On their prototype, the control panel is down here, so if you print anything big, it's going to block you from getting the control panel to stop it, pause it, do anything, because it's covering your control panel now.
Oh, I would have never thought of that.
Well, the other thing, too, was how you managed to do your wire management. Dude, from someone with OCD, that is awesome. Nothing against the other belt system, dude, but did you see that thing with the wires everywhere? I was just waiting for something to get caught.
Oh, yeah. Well, the worst is, what I did on this, if anybody were to ever kit it, it's not practical. I mean, granted, if someone's got the water jet for cutting the openings, it wouldn't be bad, but to run your wiring inside the framework and up through the holes and everything, most companies aren't going to do that, because if you have to do any maintenance to it later, literally I have to solder the connections on after it's all run in place, because you can't feed the wiring with the plugs down the openings. There's so much going on. So you might be able to pin it and feed it ahead of time, but more likely you're going to have to run it, crimp it, and put the connectors on after it's all strung every time you build it. Most companies are going to, if they do anything, if they want to stick with need, if they're smart, they'll go ahead and they'll run it inside and hide it in like the molding pieces and hide it that way instead. But I want, like you said, OCD. I used to build hot rod cars, side hobby. And to me, I always liked the cars when you went to the shows where you had to sit and hunt to find the wiring harness or the fuel line, because they hid it under covers and tins, and all you see is my favorite part of the Transformers movie, when they open the hood and you see Bumblebee's engine, and there's not a wire or hose to be seen. It's just the engine sitting there, because they hid it all within the panels of the engine.
What kind of hot rod you used to build? Actual race cars or just street?
I mean, I've owned a little bit of everything. I've had 68, 69 Chargers, a 67, 68, 69 Mustang, a 69 Porsche.
Do you ever
I've got a
race any of
69
them?
Bronco out in the shed.
You street rodded. You didn't actually race.
Oh no, just look cool. Now the 68 Mustang had a 390 shoehorned into it, and it would pick the front tires up off the ground if I got the Mickey Thompson Street Slicks hot and sticky.
Yeah, I screwed with Connecticut. They actually changed their laws because of me. Because back in the day, there used to be a drag strip like 20 miles away from me. So back in the mid 80s, after I got a large settlement from the first car accident, I built a dragster. I took a 1980 Camaro, but because of the emissions, I couldn't make it street legal and drag functionable. Well, the emission setup in Connecticut was to the motor, not to the car.
Right.
So I scavenged junkyards, and I found myself a 1969 283 and bored it and stroked it and built it, put a big-ass freaking high-rise on it, and did the whole 9 yards. And they had to do the emissions for the 69, I guess it was, 68 or 69 motor. So I didn't even need mufflers. I had straight pipes coming out.
I think they changed 50
I still put mufflers on it, but I put cutoffs on it and everything. And that thing, with an 80 Camaro, which, if anyone knows, is like the heaviest Camaro ever built, because that's when the laws made them go into the. That's why there's no 70. Was there no 78 Camaro?
Yeah, I had an 81.
Yeah, that's when the laws came through with they had to put the bars in the doors for crash protection.
Yep.
The weight became too heavy. They couldn't figure out. So mine's a unibody or semi-unibody. I put a frame on it. But I used to drive that thing right to the drag strip and then, do a couple of flips in the carburetor and drag it. But that thing, I did 11.6 with that, with a 283 board. It ended up being like a 301 kind of size.
Yeah, I never took the Mustang down the track, but I have a feeling it would have turned 10s the way it would lift the front end up.
You want to hear?
I could lay rubber for a quarter mile, or I could do that for 100 feet and then pick the front tires up. It was my choice which one of the two I could do. But once you laid rubber for a quarter mile, you didn't want to dare pop the clutch again unless you were prepared to not be able to steer.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine. We were building the Camaros at the same time. He bought a 70 that was pretty much already street rotted, had a big block 400 in it and all this crap. Well, he pulled the 400 out and put a 455 or a 490 or something massive in it. And one day we were both at the drag strip. Now, we bracket raced. I was in a much lower bracket because my car was heavier with a smaller motor, and it's all based on, horsepower to pound.
Yeah.
Based, at least it was here. Anyways, we were, you're allowed to test run, and you just kind of friendly drag race while you were test running and warming up your cars and all that. So me and him lined up, and he's like, "Come on, dude, let's drag race." I'm like, "All right." Now, I'd run 3 times already. He hadn't run this car yet. I'd already run, a couple of weekends before that, and I knew about what I was doing. I was doing like 13 seconds at that time. I'm like, he's got this massive motor and a lighter car. He's got the chopped rear end. This thing was not even street legal. He had to tow it there. I'm like, he's going to smoke me. But whatever. We're just friends. We're going to, it was fun.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
the car
freaking
that
goes
doesn't
green, and I take off, and I'm waiting for him to just freaking blow by me. And I look at my rearview mirror, and all I see is this car like this.
Oh.
He never put the rails on it. It was a full unibody from 1970. Now, I don't know if any of you guys know, but when you take a Camaro, it's a unibody. But between the firewall and the tailgate, the rear end, it's just the pan of the floor pan. That's what holds your car together. If you drag race a Camaro, they used to sell rails. It's just basically a freaking square tube of steel that you'd slide on the front, slide on the back, and then weld them into place. Well, he never put them on. And he had this massive motor, and it literally took his whole car from like right at the windshield, shattered his windshield, and just took the car and twisted it in half the minute he punched it. I was like, "You dumb bastard!" I mean, he had like $12,000 or $13,000 into it, and we're talking mid '80s. That was like, it's like $100,000 now. I mean, that thing was capped out. It was ready. He could have gone. He could have gone full out, an HRA with that thing, the way it was set up. And he just twisted that car right in half.
You'll get a kick out of this. The first belt I did, I used white 3/8 PTFE, basically water plumbing tube, and the fittings to go with it. Well, Mike wants, all black and blue to go with his logo and everything. So we decided to up it a notch. Tom.
Yeah, I'm listening. What is that?
It should look familiar to you.
It's an airline.
It's an AN fitting. So instead of using the cheap plumbing fittings for like a refrigerator, no, we're going with to run the wiring to the hot end. It's going to have AN fittings on each end, and it's a 3/8 PTFE with black and blue stainless mesh over top of it.
Oh my
It's going to
God.
look like a hot rod.
Yeah, I see. As soon as you started going, I'm like, what is he talking about? And then it's like, as soon as you started fitting the rest of that together, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, no OCD there at all. The only thing other than that you could have done was doing the, the flat ribbon cable or the bundled cable?
Yeah.
Like the RJ45 type deal? The breakouts?
Here is my red flex.
I mean, this is what it's wired with.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, you could still use stuff like that. I mean, they got the RJ45 bundles where you can get, I think, like up to 8 pairs or whatever in those.
Yeah. I don't like those because most of those are a solid core wire, though.
Yes.
And you don't want to be constantly flexing a solid core wire.
No, you don't.
But we already decided this is going to end up with we're going total hot rod with this thing. So it's going to have underglow.
Ah, what are you using for the
I'm going to mount blue LED strips in the bottom rail here, too.
Oh, that'll be nice.
I'm debating if I want to try and figure out a way to do like an L sheet and put like Midnight Giant and covers or something on the diagonal or here on the side. But
why don't you do the do that thing of what was it? trying to remember, was it Bill Dorian did with they use like acrylic sheets, like the real narrow ones that you can slide into the rails, and then you just sand the surface a little bit so you make it translucent. That way the color comes through it without seeing the direct LEDs.
Well,
that way
the thing I thought about doing with this was if I do it big enough, most people don't realize, and I don't know if I have anything that'll show it here, is the filament he wanted me to use for his is that Wonder Blue pasta.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's based off a translucent blue filament. I'm seriously wondering if I can take and print just a thin, do 1.2 layer and then 2 more 0.1 layers and make just a thin sheet. And then on top of that, print an opening, in black, like with the the Empire Strikes Black. To say Midnight Giant over top. So if I backlight it with an L strip, it would light through the translucent blue Wonder. So off, it's going to blend right in, and then to flip it on, just give me the added bonus that they actually glow a little bit.
Yeah, no, that would look sharp.
I said, and the cool thing is it'll all blend right in, turned off. And I was like, oh, and he'll go, oh, you put my name on the side. That's neat. And I'm like, that's not everything. And then flip the switch, and all the underglow kicks on, and his name lights up. Hopefully Mike's not watching the stream right now, because that's kind of, if I decide to do that, it'll definitely be a surprise. He knows I'm going to put the underglow on because we talked about that at Printed Solid. Everybody started talking like, dude, it's a hot rod. It needs underglow.
It really does look good, though. I mean that. I was very impressed. I saw that. It looks. The belt was my favorite part because I was looking at that going, how did you? What did you use to seal that? Because all I could think of was treadmill. And I'm like, you can't print on staple. It's not going to lace together right. And then when you showed it and then you talked about how you actually fused it, I'm like, oh, very nice.
That's a 2 meter long build tech sheet.
Yes, it is. I need to open
World's longest build tech sheet.
I'll tell you what, I had fun building that Fun King, rebuilding the Fun King, but it's sitting over on the floor now. It's just so freaking loud.
Yeah, the biggest problem with doing that belt is it is literally a 4-day assembly of that belt. Because I'm too scared to try and squeegee that belt on dry. If I was a professional vinyl person or whatever, I might try it. But to line up a belt that's 400 millimeters, the build tech sheet's like 403 millimeters wide and the belt's 400. So you got 1.5 millimeters of play either way, pretty much. To line it straight up down that thing for 2 meters. And then you got to make sure you don't get a bubble the whole way. No. I laid it out and I did the top 2 feet. And then I sprayed it down, I put it down, and I wrapped it all the way around, and I left 100 millimeters at each end covered. Well, I only uncovered 2 feet to start, but I wrapped it all the way around and made sure it was lined up square on both ends. Taped it in place, and then I squeegeed out that first 2 feet and let it set. And then I just kept peeling off 2 more feet, spraying it, adhere it. Next day, 2 more feet. And then the last day, I laid a piece of leftover belt material in between, dropped a linear rail across and clamped it down, and then cut a diagonal across it, pulled the 2 extra pieces out, and that was the only part I put down dry was that last 100 millimeters on each end.
Where is it? Extruder Z-Hop. I went to Z-Hop with this because it's stringy crap. Advanced temperatures, cooling.
But that was the first time that was a nerve-wracking 4 days.
Okay, save and close. Slice. 4 minutes.
I bought 3 belts to do 2 printers. I get 1 screw up.
Yeah, but you did it right by taking your time with that, and it really does show on the finish. I mean, a lot of those belts. I mean, a belt like that doesn't have any right not walking all over the place the way it's set up right now, and you did it great by getting that thing to just go perfect.
It still walks a little bit. I wish I could say that it tracked perfectly straight and true, because I still don't think I cut it straight. But as I talked about on the video, the biggest problem I had was that metal was the wrong. I thought I was ordering full hard stainless, and it's not full hard. It's soft. So it's stretching and bending where it shouldn't. Nice thing is the company that sent it to me felt bad, and they refunded the whole $80 I spent on the 2 belts. Unfortunately, to find a good conveyor belt, full hard stainless steel, is a little pricier than I'd hoped.
You know, you got your bed nice and level when this comes off, and it just pops right off.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Just popped right off of blue tape. Think about it.
I get that with glue stick all the time.
Well, you know, that's what I've just started. I started like recently putting glue stick on the blue tape, just because it makes it so I can actually make the blue tape last even longer.
Yeah. Every time I see someone post a picture of their mirror or their glass bed that they pulled a chunk out of,
yeah,
I didn't use glue stick. I've never seen anybody pull a chunk out that used glue stick.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing. I keep using. I go to PEI. I did this in PEI on PEI originally, and of course, one of the corners lifted. I'm like, all right, so I put a big ass brim around it. It's still lifted. I put it on blue tape. It holds. Everyone wonders why I keep going back to blue tape. You know why? Because it freaking works.
All right, so we got Brian Knappen, Wellbot. So hi guys. Sorry.
Brian's in here. Hey, Brian, I didn't see you come in.
Having an awesome discussion here.
Okay, I'm trying. Knappen, why not run WS282012B so you can use LEDs to show the status? Because I don't know what a WS2812B is.
I think that's the controller that allows you to do that. I think.
Okay. I know I looked into, there is a way to actually control, I mean, I've got the DuX board. Technically, I could actually control LEDs with the Duet and the DuX.
Yeah.
You use the fan triggers to do that, but I read it and I don't want to put the DuX board in just to run LEDs.
Oh, I thought you were putting it in already anyways.
Well, I was just going to put it to where it's blue and done. I keep hoping Duet gets smart and realize everybody wants to be able to do multicolor LEDs and control them. I'm hoping like Duet Wi-Fi 3 has a 4-pin header on it that's designed just to run LEDs would be awesome, because then you could
really look into the Maestro board.
Why is that on it?
Like it's actually got more pins on it, even though it's cheaper and it's not using the, I don't know, it's one step down in the Triomenic drivers. And actually, they're thinking about putting one step up because now that they're so, the TMCs are so popular, the prices have dropped ridiculously for the manufacturer.
All right, so I'm pulling this up now, and it looks like it's NeoPixel related.
Yeah, he's saying it's something that lets you do addressable LED lights.
Yeah.
But you still need to have, I mean, granted, depending on how many colors I wanted to run, because you could do, like I said, I could take one of the fans and I could take one of the feeds off of the, because I've got one of the controllable fans I'm not using, and I've got one of the hot end that I'm not using. I could take the 2 feeds off of that, but that still only allows me 2 color. I don't have the third. So I could do red and green and ground, or red and blue and I could do 2 color real easy and flip it back and forth between. I could make it blue and I could make it red or whatever. I guess I could probably do any variation of the 2. I could do red, blue, and purple or whatever with it. I could mix it to get the get the full RGB white. I need 2 more.
Come on. I keep thinking to myself I should get rid of this printer because it's getting old.
No.
But, oh my God, that's flex. Look how perfect those are.
Oh, hold on, I gotta grab you again because I'm not.
That's
sharing screen with.
Oh, that looks nice.
I mean, those are near perfect.
What are you printing?
They're just little washers for this.
Oh, okay.
I just printed them out of Flex, so it doesn't affect the board.
You trying to make it watertight?
No, it just the board rattles.
Oh, okay.
Brian says hi, by the way. Sorry, I missed that.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm checking his homework.
The answer is 23.
So
Yeah.
I printed little baby washers that are all red. So when I put it behind, I screw the board down, it doesn't rattle against the hard plastic.
And hopefully doesn't engage your reset button all the time.
Well, that's just because I got the tool and whacked the thing. But how many printers do you know that can print Flex that well?
I've only tried Flex once. I did it with my DaVinci, so.
Yeah, there's not many that can print it like this thing does. Everyone's like, oh, the V6, the V6. It's like, no, actually, the MK8 is a far better flexible filament printer.
Now, granted, I haven't tried Flex since I switched over to Bowden with my DaVinci, so who knows?
Yeah, that's
That's Flex.
Wow. You printed it standing up?
Yep. Just like it's sitting.
I'm sure one of the first modifications somebody will make to the belt will be to make it a direct drive printer.
that's false.
Oh, I have a feeling I'm going to make the Frown King of direct drive. Someone's actually selling a kit now for like the Ender 3s and stuff. Basically just a remake, a new aluminum plate. You put the new pulleys on it, and it makes it so you can mount the motor up above the head. It's only like $27.
O-N-E. Can you
It comes with everything you need. And you use the existing extruder on, the CR10s and the Ender 3s and all of those. And you just remount the extruder, you use the stock extruder, and you remount it up above it. And you just end up with a really, really short PTFE tube going between the extruder and the hot end. It's like $27. You're basically getting a couple of screws and the little aluminum plate, because it's, I don't know, but the way it mounts, it just extends it up and puts two holes so you can mount the extruder up above it. That's all it really is. Just a little aluminum plate and screws, but still, it's
I'm sure.
a brilliant idea.
One of the first things I'm probably going to have to make for this as an option, because I've already had people ask me to do it, is, like I say, because right now I'm making sure that slide tray goes into the inside of the printer.
Then you can play the keyboard for a little bit.
Well, I'm sure someone already asked me if I could make a modification where you could just take two pieces of extrusion, make a couple end caps, and then you could just still slide the slide tray and everything into it. So you didn't have to put it in here. You could take and do two-piece extrusion with end caps, and you could mount it to like the side and run your slide tray in through that, and then just run your wiring in through it externally.
That's
So I'll probably end up making that modification here at some point, but that's on the list long after Murph of I'm going to do that, and then after Murph I'll do that, and then I'll probably scale it down to a 230 millimeter wide belt version, just because I have a whole roll of full hard stainless steel belt material, and it's 230 millimeters wide. And that'll let people print something a little more deskable. Because that lets me cut it down to, what was it? To drop it down to a 230 wide, I'm literally cutting it down to 57%, 57.5% of size. So it almost literally shrink it by half.
I'm thinking this pin right here, I don't know if you can see it, that little itty bitty pin right there is the reset pin, because that's the one I hit with the wrench. And it reset it. I had this thing on there. It was just cranking away, and all of a sudden everything reset.
Hopefully that's all it did was reset.
That's all it did. It printed perfectly. Luckily it was right in the beginning of the print, so it didn't even, it literally wasn't even finished with the first layer.
The cool thing is, looking at it, is all the pieces, the 3D printable pieces, I don't have to change them to scale this down. All you gotta do is change the extrusion lengths that you cut.
Oh, so if you're going with a shorter belt versus a longer belt,
Right? Yeah, you'd have to scale down the extrusion, and then you'd have to scale down the belt.
I mean,
And
you'd have a limit to how small you can go because of the gantry size, right?
to a point, I guess, because the amount of components in there, you wouldn't want to go too small. But
Right.
I mean,
You still want to
really-
get a tool changer, right?
yeah, I mean, I couldn't see any reason why anybody would want to go below 230 for a belt printer. I mean, the whole point of printing a belt is because you want to print bigger stuff.
Right. Right.
You know,
Repeatedly.
9 inches wide, that's still pretty wide, and you could still print it as long as you wanted. So,
Well, you should have seen
thing-
Carl's scraper that he had on the end of the belt. Tom, did you see that?
What?
Carl had a scraper on the backside for peeling the parts off. It's
Oh,
awesome.
really? So it just comes
There, yeah,
off.
he's got it right there. Right there, you see it?
Oh, cool. You know,
It goes
if you guys see Neary doing his little army of Joel and Joe's, could you
No,
imagine if he had that thing where it could be an endless army of Joe and Joe's popping off of that thing?
Well, actually, he was there. He was there with Carl when Carl was talking about his belt.
Was he? That
Yep.
would be perfect.
this is what I forgot to bring to the meetup. So far,
Oh,
this
you
is-
printed that?
I printed this.
That's
I
nasty.
printed. It's this. The whole concept when I sold Mike on me building this was, okay, he wants to print a sword for cosplay. You do the whole thing and you slice it lengthwise into 2 pieces.
Yep.
You print it, you print the other half of it, and you slap the 2 together. If you print them both the same way, the nice thing is the grain will fight itself. So you have grain going this way and grain going this way. Once you glue the 2 halves together, it's going to be so strong. I did one of these, and I did the 2 halves together, and I gave it away at for a white elephant Christmas thing at Printed Solid, and that was 2 halves of this, and this is like 10% infill, and you can't. I've heard it crack once or twice, but when I glued the 2 halves together, it was just rock solid. Like right now, you can see it wave a little bit. You glue 2 halves, it's solid as a rock.
Yeah. Well, they use
All you
3D
gotta
printing
do is
too.
alternate them too.
What's that?
Well, if you alternate, like that's what I do with these now when I make them stronger. My
A1
my
brands, they
top
make
and
them-
bottom, if you look at my top and bottom, they're at 0 and 90. But
Yeah.
my infill is at 45 and whatever, 130 or whatever the hell it happens to be. 135, I guess it is. It actually makes it stronger. Where if you do the same thing with that,
Yeah.
if you do your faces in line, you do your infill at 45 and 130. But then on the other half, you do it at, say, 30 and 125. It's
Yeah.
glue it together. It's going to be even stronger. Just like
Well, the nice
laminated
thing with this one is right now, if you can't see it, I don't think in the layer lines, but they're running this way on this when it prints. So if you take the other half and you slap it, they're running this way. So the 2 layer lines are crisscrossing. And then if you really wanted to go crazy, you could sit and the belt's wide enough, you could print it at a diagonal this way. So you'd have the lines crisscrossed in 2 directions.
It actually
Once you put
fits.
it together.
Look at that. It actually fits this time.
Nice.
This one was a little off. I just guessed when I looked at this one. I said, I'll move it over an inch. I mean, a millimeter. I'll center this. This is way off. If you look at the one I just took off, the knob is like way up at the top edge of the hole. I was just like, I'll move it down 2 or 3 millimeters. Move that over a millimeter or 2. It actually worked.
This
It did
is one
something
of
right.
Mike's earlier swords, and you can't see them, but there's the seam here and back here, and there's metal pins to help reinforce the seams. He printed something about half this big, completely hollow, and with the belt printer this week, and he was like, dude, it's just as solid as this with the support pins and infill. He did 2 perimeters at 0.8 nozzle size and did it completely hollow, and he said it's just as strong as this one is.
Nice. Now, if you can do a bat left.
He's like, dude, you have no idea how excited I am to start building stuff with this thing now.
I hate being an old klutz.
Something is not in the right spot though. because there's no way I was blocking the flag before. There we go.
Hopefully, these little rubber washery things will stop it from rattling so much.
Did you do the squishy style where you can do the I don't know how to describe it. It's like a washer, then it's a little narrower in the middle, and then it goes back out to the full size washer again.
I just made a little TPU washer.
Yeah, I can't wait to get this dual drive put into that printer.
Hey, One Raz. Didn't see you pop in.
Who's here? One Raz? Hey, One Raz.
Yeah,
Oh, Michael's here too. What's up, Michael?
Letting everybody know that the old man is here. I don't think there's any young men in here right now, so
I think I'm the oldest person here, aren't I?
I don't know how old One Raz is. I think he got me beat by a couple years.
Actually, I think One Raz is older than me, isn't he?
Nappin's like, I'm young.
Let's see. Michael's definitely young.
No. Where's my washer?
Michael Castle's 31. Yeah, you're out. You're under 40.
Yeah. I remember being 40.
I don't. It was a really, really long time ago.
Llama barely remembers being 50.
I barely remember being 53. Oh, wait, I am 53. For another week or two.
I'm 46.
My birthday's in like 2 weeks.
I'm still young and in my prime. I'm only 46, Haven't even hit the halfway mark yet.
What day is it? Actually, I think my birthday's next week.
Oh,
My son's birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday, son.
Oh, yeah. One Raz has got us beat. He'll be 60.
Yeah, he's like 60 or something, ain't he? Yeah. He's the only one older than me.
What day in April?
Is it the longest day in April?
I said I turned 47 in April, so my mom jokes that she went into labor on April 1st and begged and pleaded with God not to let me be an April Fool's baby, so he made her wait 3 more days.
Oh,
3 freaking days. Holy crap.
Yeah, so it's like she went into labor and then stopped, and then 3 days later she went back into labor and had me. So I was born on April 4th.
good times there.
Couldn't imagine that. That must have sucked.
I don't know if it's a true story or not, but that was what she told me once.
You know what? That my birth name was supposed to be Heath, so I believe just about anything.
Oh, I hate being an old klutz.
I said I wish I'd have been born on February 29th. I think it'd be fun to turn 28 and tell everybody, how old are you? I'm 7.
Yeah, how would that work on your driver's license?
I think they actually will put it as February 29th on your drive. Used to be they would either pick February 28th or March 3rd or March 1st. They didn't want anybody to be born on February 29th, but I think now they just realize everybody's smart enough to put 2 and 2 together and go, okay, you just don't get to celebrate it on February, every year. It's like, okay, yeah.
I had a friend that was born on February 29th. His family figured it out. It just every year for the 3 years in between, they bumped it a day. So on the 29th was his birthday one year. On the 1st was his birthday the next year. The 2nd was his birthday the 3rd year. The 3rd on his birthday on the 4th year, and then it bumps back on the leap year. Because you're still a year older. It's one extra day.
Is that a multicolored pangolin in the background, Carl?
You weren't at Earth last year, were you?
I was, but I don't remember seeing that.
Multicolored what?
This is a polypang. You want to know how you get Sanjay's attention at E3D?
Yeah,
You
with that.
walk up with something colorful and shiny, and he loses all concentration.
Yes, he does.
I don't remember seeing that.
This is 200% scale. So to record, Nereis hasn't beat me yet, but this is the largest pangolin ever printed that anybody's dared to come. No one's challenged me on it yet. And if they do, I found out I can go 600% on the belt.
Oh
It
my
would literally
God.
be over 2 meters long.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't even do that on my Chiron.
If I can find a sponsor willing to hook me up with like a 10-kilo roll IC3D, if you're listening, I will print. I will print a Pangolin as large as I can go with my belt printer. I want to print it before Earth so I can have it hanging on the wall behind me. They'll be like, look what I killed, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm still hoping to make it to Earth this year. I just don't know if I can or not. Because I don't want to miss it because I had such fun last year, but it was such a. It was me and my son came down last year. I got to see you there, but
Okay.
I did a little bit of video, but
I had to modify the files and actually taper the pieces so I could snap fit them together.
oh, nice. It's probably what I should have done too, because the first one I did, my printer was so poorly tuned that it just when I went to go break the spine, I literally broke the spine. So
How do I have a feeling this thing's gonna rattle?
Send me the link I beat you. I'm assuming that's what Nappin said.
send me the link or link.
I'm thinking he meant to say link.
Okay. We'll find out, I guess.
Oh, I bet he meant to say link.
Secondary cards rattling now.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna do like jointed prints, I mean, I could go much bigger because of the Chiron, but
Yeah. Well, I did. Well, and the funny thing is, I said, okay. I took the pieces. And this is where I always get everybody's attention. I go, one, I modified them so with the taper fit with Microsoft 3D Builder. So again, I'm working on a handicap. And then I did it all with a DaVinci.
sorry, Nappin. We're not giving you crap. We are giving you crap. Never mind. What am I talking about?
It is 19 inches long.
So that's a foot and a half. Well, a little over a foot and a half.
Yeah.
What's that in imperial?
I'm waiting. I don't know. Let me see. 19 inches.
Looks like I wired everything back up, right?
483 millimeters.
I have a feeling the LCD card came loose of the actual mother card on my screen, and that's why it's rattling. It wasn't actually hitting anything. We'll find out in a minute.
That's the problem. Everybody wants me to give them the files. I've had lots of people get very mad at me because I won't share the files for making that. And it's not that I don't want to, but if you go out and you look at the Pangolin, it strictly says no derivatives because it's for a fundraiser. And I have messaged the creator and guys in Japan. I don't think he speaks a lick of it, or China, wherever, doesn't speak a lick of English and hasn't answered any of my messages. So if I'll bring it again with me to Murph if for some reason, I should have took it with me to New York Maker Faire because not that I don't particularly like Naomi Wu, but she does have the ear of everybody over there. She probably could have contacted the person and got them to give me permission to publish because I'm all right with not publishing. If the guy would give me an email, I would send him all the files so he could add it to what he's got.
Yeah,
but
I don't think I don't think Naomi's going to come to Earth. But I used to follow her when she was first, out doing her thing because I used to love watching her stuff. And then she turned into this. She turned into this, like, I don't know what she turned into. And I told her, I was like, listen, it's like the coveralls, the working thing, the thing you got going on now, that's so much cooler than what you're doing now. But she likes the clickbait, so that's what she opted for. And I don't really talk to her anymore. So
I got tired of the comments that all Americans were all American men were basically sexist pigs.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's what that kind of put me off right there. And then when there was the whole Creality issue with the open source, not open source, and then someone accused that XYZ stole something from them or whatever, or it was XYZ accused them of stealing something. It all traced back to one post. And the first post saying anybody did anything was Naomi Wu. You know, saying that Amazon made them pull all this and that. Nobody could find anything proving anything before her post starting the whole big, you know, scandal about it all. And I'm like,
yeah.
You would have thought Amazon would have released a statement at some point or somebody else, but no. I tracked back. I searched Twitter and Facebook and everything I could, and I couldn't find anything about it before she made her post saying that this, you know, this is what happened. I'm like, I wonder.
Amazon absolutely does not give a crap about Naomi.
No.
She's just a drop in their hat to them.
But it stirred up enough that all of a sudden Amazon pulled all the stuff off their website for a little while until they figured out what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
She made one post and 20,000 people started retweeting it. And I was like, check your facts, people. I don't retweet anything until I check my facts.
Now, unless it's stuff like, you know, from like Wellbot or, you know, some of the people that I follow and want to make sure I get the word out about them, you know, I'll retweet stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll retweet, you know, every once in a while Printed Solid or Polyalchemy will put out a good sale. I'll retweet that so people see there's a sale going. But when it's, you know, hey, did you, like somebody just posted something and I haven't had a chance to check it. They sent it to me in a direct message saying, send this out to all your friends on Facebook talking about how supposedly some Dollar General stores were getting Colgate made in Africa. And it had ethylene glycol in it, which is the primary ingredient in antifreeze.
Yeah.
And supposedly the FDA said, don't worry, you're spitting it all out. It's not really harmful to you, but they have linked it to causing cancer.
I'm just distracted because Tom keeps giving us the bird.
It flaps and everything.
You need to put some strings on top of that sucker and then counterweight it so it gets that nice little.
That's the whole point, dude. It's going to be one of those thingies.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot harder to get it all the way out.
Yeah.
And flap, where it's 3D printed.
Yeah.
Even with the hinges and everything. Where
So you just basically
it shifts in one direction or the other, and they rub, and all of a sudden the thing's like that. It starts going cockeyed and crap.
So you're sanding and then putting it back together and sanding.
No,
it
actually, I discovered I just made the slot bigger, and I just put PTFE tubing inside, and then I slide a single piece of filament that's tight fitting to the wings through the whole thing, and now it's like smooth as butter.
It's Buddha.
Okay,
we're
so
going to go to a string hinge, and I just hate that. It looks so hokey.
Yeah.
This looks nice. I mean, this thing looks pretty freaking cool. I mean, that looks cool. Other than I haven't glued it together yet. But, I mean, look at how smoothly that wing flaps around.
I know. Well, don't glue it together. That's your prototype.
No, you got to glue the body together. The body comes in two halves.
Oh, I got you.
That way you can print it with, because the center's the middle is hollow, so it's like ultralight, so I can kick the pivot points out farther.
okay, so Nappin was thinking that Pangolin's a pay-for model. It's not a pay-for model, but they want you to donate. You know, when you grab it, you know, you pay your $3. But I'll tell them the secret to making it a snap fit.
What? What are you talking about? That I'm missing?
Making the Pangolin a snap fit, like I did.
Yeah, modificating the Pangolin STL model.
Yeah.
I can't even see
You gotta
that.
do is, I don't know how well this is going to show up on the camera, if at all. Can you guys see that at all?
Oh, I got you.
Okay, on each piece, there's a tab like this that locks into the next one. To make it to where you can snap fit, you got to notch it down the center and put a taper on each edge of it, so that when you go to push it in, it squeezes together and snaps back out and still locks in
Be
place.
doing like an automotive.
Yeah, like a panel plug, basically.
Yeah, a panel plug for a door panel.
All I did was I made myself a little jig that cut a 2mm swack out of the middle of it and tapered the two sides off at 45s so that I could just literally, I would lock the two together and you'd hear it snap and crack. Like you'd push on it, it would crack at the last second and then pop together. and I was pretty sure the cracking was just as the supports inside gave away a little bit, and then it would lock together.
Nice. Hey, nerd girl.
Hey, nerd girl. Who's
Hi.
nerd girl? I've never heard of nerd girl before. Hi, nerd girl. Nerd girl 3D printing.
I think she's been on Country's channel a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. That or on the Fun in the Country basement, one of the two, because I've seen her, and that's pretty much the only streams I really get on.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get on Walter's stream lately. I've been just busy.
I've been trying to watch other streams lately because I just basically watched Walter, and I used to watch Fun King all the time more because I just, I like supporting, a father-son setup. I like that the two of them work together, but
problem is the son hasn't been on lately.
Yeah, well, he's like, he's a kid. He wants to play Nintendo and hang out with his friends. He don't want to deal with it no more. He's at that age.
Yeah. He's getting to the age where it's not cool to hang out with dad anymore, slowly.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, but you got to appreciate the dad jokes. Those are always fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just it. I always liked watching his little, Xander's Thing Thursday, and I think he should keep doing that. Maybe do it once a month instead of, every Thursday. Xander's Thing first Thursday of the month or something like that. I could see the kid burnt out on it. I'd be burnt out. He's a kid.
Yeah.
Doing that every single weekend.
I have a hard time making, I stopped making the videos for the DaVinci just because I couldn't find the brain power to do that and build this at the same time.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I had a couple of videos. I've been working on this thing for months.
And everybody was telling me
I wanted to do a video on the tops, and I kept getting distracted with that Frown King this week. I had all kinds of stuff I had planned to get done, and the Frown King took precedence. And now it's sitting on the floor because it's done. I'm just done playing with that. For one, it's too freaking loud. It works. It runs. It prints actually very well.
Hi, Earl.
You guys see
I'm trying to figure out who Earl is.
It's got a frown on it. See the Frown King base? Can you see the Frown King?
It's a Frown King.
It's a Frown King base.
Well, we'll just twist the E into a K, and then it'll be Hi Carl.
I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think probably.
Okay, so
These two wings came off the Frown King.
They come off the Frown King.
The last thing it printed.
you don't print that all as one piece?
No, this is all hinged in.
I think make it where you could print it laid out flat as one piece and break it loose like the pangolin.
Yeah, no, you can't do that because it's got to be. I tried that, and it's got to be too free floating. Otherwise, it starts doing this kind of crap. Sideways because it needs too much space. It needs to be like really free floating to work. Because I got a couple of them all set up and they don't work. I mean, they sort of work. It'll go flat, but it won't go flat.
It still looks nice. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple of them all set.
Oh man, I forgot to send Shom that picture today. I was too busy.
Then I got to figure out how to set up the wires.
I'll have to do it tomorrow now.
Okay, it's all tied up, but yeah, it doesn't.
You just need the.
See,
I see the counterweight in the middle there.
Yeah, it's all tied up in knots. It's kind of pissed me off. Okay,
It looks good though, bud. It really does.
There we go. But yeah, it kind of binds. It doesn't.
Looks like the balance point might not be right on the wings either.
That and this hinge just broke just now.
Oops.
Well, it's just a piece of filament run through it, but it binds up too much. It won't. I can't get it to flap.
Yeah. It really does.
Yeah, the weight is slightly off, but it's just still flap.
Maybe you ought to try using like a 10-penny nail or something.
No, this works really well. I made the actual hinge on the body bigger, and I put PTFE tube in it.
Okay.
and it's like perfect.
Michael says, "Ruh-roh, ruh-roh, Reggie. Oh no."
So hopefully in the next week or two, I'll have it all figured out. The only thing I got to do now is I got to design a balancing, because I thought I'd put holes in the wings where everyone could do it. But the more I think about it, and I've done these out of wood and stuff, you can never get the exact same spots because you never know what filament they're using there. So the balance point is not going to be always the same. So what I think I'm going to do is build a balance. We used to have a balance board where you'd put it on, you could slide it back and forth, and it would tell you where the center is.
Oh, like a blade balancer?
Yeah, kind of, but it's basically two sticks that hold just like my fingers are, but you can slide it. They always stay parallel to each other. And just slide them out until the body starts sinking a little bit. You bring it back, and then you're set. That's where you attach your strings.
Well, I gotta go bury my kids in blankets, so I think I better get off here.
Yeah, I think I need to go make dinner as it is. It's getting late.
No, it's like 30.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was later than that.
Yeah, no, it's not. But thank you for having me, Tom.
No problem.
Yeah. Always cool hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Carl. It was awesome getting to finally talk to you again since IRF. I mean, it's been almost a year now.
And I think I definitely outdid the Mega Frankenvinci. So
I haven't seen that yet either.
It was at IRF. Everybody, like I said, everybody totally missed it.
Oh yes, no, I did.
You're up staring at your freaking.
You're too busy looking at Star-Lord to even notice that.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of distracting with the Star-Lord. That and Glenn. Glenn was like, him and Xander were like all over the place. Okay. So it's like we see Star-Lord, and then it's like, and there's Glenn, and it's like, so.
Yeah. Everybody's telling me I better be prepared to lose my voice because everybody's telling me I'm going to be swamped at Merc. So,
now the question is, if Walter is up on the same row with you and Glenn and what's his face there with the arcade cabinet?
Well, Glenn,
I don't think I'll be anywhere near them this year, unfortunately. Because were you at Murph last year?
I wasn't. I can't get to Murph until I start making some more money. So
at Murph last year, Midnight Giant had a booth in a corner of the main building where they always put the Part Daddy. There's like a 2-story building. It's like that building's actually 3 wings. There's this big 2-story section where they put the Part Daddy. There's a really low ceiling room in the middle, and then there's another decent sized room at the other end. And everybody tries to get down by the Part Daddy. And Midnight Giant had a corner there by the Part Daddy, and we're hoping to get the same spot, and Printed Solid's hoping to get up in there, and we're all hoping to be up at that one end, and I'm setting up right beside Midnight with both of these.
Yeah, because Midnight was across from you when you were at IRF.
Yeah.
And then Uncle Jesse was next to Midnight Giant, right? And then Community Catch Up.
I've uploaded a fresh version of Marlin 1.9 and I have a box of the Axis and the 0.
Yeah, you had a pretty good corner there.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully we're gonna have a nice big section now. I want to be in the main tent, or I say the main tent, but the main building. Because all the big sponsors try to get down there by the Part Daddy, and I want them to see how busy my booth is. I want them to come to me going, "Dude, what do you need made for this thing?"
Nerd Girl, are you just talking about the actual readout for your X and Y and Z axes is blinking? Because that's part of the new Marlin 1.18 and 1.19. You have to home it. That's the only way to stop them from blinking. It drives me nuts too. But that blinking is telling you that it hasn't registered where home is, so it doesn't know where it is. If that's what you're talking about. The 0 is just blinking?
And I don't know enough about Marlin, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm going to learn again because I have to upload the CR10S firmware profile with the inverted extruder.
Well, I'm gonna have to learn it at some point because I want to find the. Neary said he can get me the firmware for the CRX because I want to upgrade it to Bondtech BMG extruders.
Yeah,
so I have to flash it to change that.
Well, mine's the Chinese version of the Bondtech.
But My advice for Nerd Girl is find oh my God, Chris. Find Chris Riley on Twitter.
Chris Riley.
He knows everything about Marlin.
You have to do the Chris Riley.
Yeah, the Chris Riley. He's in the basement.
Now on Twitter.
Now on Twitter for about
Chris
a month
Riley,
and a half. Now.
the Chris Riley.
The Chris Riley. Oh my God. Yeah, he's actually really. We got to do a big stream like that one of these days. Holy crap.
What?
Or just get together.
He popped in on us one night.
He does. He does that. He'll surf channels and he'll be like, "How you doing?" And everybody's like, "Jump in, dude. Jump in."
We did it. I think the last time he was on with me and Llama, he posted the link for me, and all of a sudden Chris just popped in, and I'm like, dude, Chris Riley just popped in on the bottom of the stream. Kind of like you sneaking in. He didn't say anything, and he didn't message or anything in the chat.
Yeah.
Chris Riley just appeared in the window. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, he's actually done that. He was in the stream for 15 minutes once, and I'm sitting here laughing. And finally, I think it was
like the rest of us. What are you guys act like he's something special?
Mike looks at me and he's like, "What are you laughing about?" And I said, "I just kind of started." And he's like, "Oh my God, hi Chris." And Chris just starts cackling. He's just like, "Well, I got to go on the other stream here in a minute, but I just wanted to come in and say hi." So yeah, he's funny like that.
And Tom, he has 9,600 more followers than I have.
Yeah.
Well, that's so that would be 9. I don't know how many. Hold on a second. How many followers do you guys?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. On Twitter, he's probably got me beat. I'm sorry. If we're gonna go by YouTube, he's got 9,840 more subscribers than me.
Let's see. So he's got.
He's picking up on this because he's getting trouble, but he's been collaborating with me on this thing, which is we were joking about it one time on a live stream, and he's like, "You design it, I'll try it out." So I designed him a drill-powered winder.
Oh, cool!
You snap it into the spool and hook it up to your drill, and it winds up your filaments. It just snaps in, and then you can just snap it out and put it on your printer.
Yeah, I need to go ahead and print one of the winders that actually has the little arm that goes back and forth. Is one of the first things I want to do once I get my my palette and figure out how to and figure out how to use it. I should say is I want to make rainbow spools with polyalchemy since I have so much of it. I want to sit there and do random splices of polyalchemy every so many feet and make up a whole spool with it. But I have to make myself some sort of winder that I can sit up and have it running the whole time so I can just plug a couple colors in and let it go.
Yeah, this thing actually works pretty well. The first one isn't. He actually likes the first one better because it's smaller. But the only problem with it is when you're winding up samples, it just binds because you start winding it and it goes too fast, and it just tangles up as you're winding it up.
Oh, I hate it when that stuff twists.
Well, that's the whole point of this: is you take your samples, and right now I haven't got these locked together, but I redesigned this one. This is the exact diameter that Printed Solid is now making the maker box out of. So you should be able to, when I make this unlockable, it's glued on right now, but if you unlock it, you should be able to just slide it on.
Slide the sample in and lock it back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always worry though that the end gets,
well, they still get tangled
when you do that.
They still get tangled. My thing is you take two of these, one of them you snap it on, and the other one you wind it out, rewind it onto, so it's feeding. You can catch it. That's the whole concept. Is there'll be actually two of them.
Yeah, I usually just
sit on the one and wind it on the other, and that way, if it is tangling, it's not tangling going into your printer. You can catch it, fix it, wind it onto the spool proper, and then you're all set.
Yeah, most of the time I take them now, and I'll manually spool them onto a pasta reel. Just because their center core is so big,
right.
In case it's tight or loose, it'll always grab nice and tight on it, and I just hand spool them on like this.
Think about someone like Chris Riley that doesn't have the time or the patience to deal with that.
What? He's no than any of us. You just said that.
He wants it to auto wind. He wants to hit a drill and go zzz, and have it just wind onto it.
That's what I want.
All right, guys, I really got to go make dinner. It's getting late. So
Yeah, and Chris Riley's got like 10,100 and something more subscribers than I got.
Yeah, where am I at?
He's at 10,587. Tom, you've got the 198.
Oh, so
You're like
I'm
you're right behind me. Somehow I have more than you. I don't get that one.
I don't know. I never really pushed for it.
Yeah, I don't know how Carl's only got 169 subs.
because all I've done is Da Vinci stuff till now. I have the distinct feeling once after
If he
murder.
started publicizing that freaking printer, he'd blow us all away in a week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we did the thing at Printed Solid, and I gained 20 new followers on Twitter that day.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 325 right now, and I'll probably lose 40 or 50 of those here in another week or two. But I mean, I try, but I do this for fun, so I don't really have any skin in the game.
Why I do it. I've been thinking about doing it. Not really for money, but try and get it a little. I would like to start doing it a little more professional.
Well, I started using
some of my
this.
earlier ones. I swore every other sentence, and I'm trying to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started switching using my phone a lot more, and believe it or not, I've been getting more hits and video views with the phone videos.
See,
because they're like 10 minutes or shorter.
Yeah, 10 minutes is good. That's the other thing I've learned. Yeah. A lot of people are going, oh, yeah, because I can remember when YouTube limited you to 5 minutes unless you were like, big and popular. You couldn't do over 5 minutes, and there was like, oh, now you can do a 30-minute video. And I'm like, but why? No one's gonna.
Yeah, I did one 35-minute video, and it's the only thumbs down I've got on my videos, and I'm sure that was because of the length.
Yeah,
that could be. I mean,
I couldn't figure out how to break it up without making it stupid. So,
I mean, it's like these live streams. I don't expect anyone to come back and watch these later.
No. Well, ironically, what was it? Gill Skills.
I gotta go.
All right, bud. Thanks. Yeah, I gotta get two. I gotta go put my kids in bed.
Yeah, it's almost 9. I'm gonna probably kill it soon.
I know, right? That's cool having Carl come in like that, though.
Yeah, he comes in every once in a while. He built half of that printer on my streams. People didn't realize. He was probably 4 or 5 times he came on my stream. I'd be working on one of my printers. He'd be working on that. We were just hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost bought one of those Da Vinci's. I almost bought a Zix. There's a couple of them. The reasons I didn't was because of the proprietary cartridge thing they had for a while. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't do it. And, I mean, the price is awesome for what they can do. But
I mean, they're a good printer. What are they, $600?
It's a 3D printer with a dot matrix printer inside of it. I mean, think about it. It's like it uses ink to recolor, or pigment to recolor the filament as it's going.
Oh, is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, that'd be all right. But again, you're stuck with their filament because it's the only filament that you can dye.
Yep.
It's just not. Honestly, I'm looking more and more and more, and people are laughing because they're like, "Oh, you can't, multicolor print. It's no different." But I'm looking at the stupid G-Tech with the blender, and not because I want to do multicolor prints like individual colors. I want to do the blending vases and have it transform slowly from red to green. Or I just think that looks freaking awesome.
Well, if you want to see something cool before a Amscray Vamoose.
I mean, I really like Filablend. I wish they kind of disappeared from the world. They're still out there, but you don't hear about them anymore. But they were freaking awesome. I love the Filablend filament. I want to buy a roll. I want to keep them in business.
Let me switch over to this real quick. Yeah, look who's printing now, eh?
What are you printing? You really printed on Ultra Base?
It is
Ultra Base.
It is Ultra Base.
You like that?
That is the. This is that skateboarding ramp that I made for my son.
Oh,
So it's the what do you call it, quarter pipe or whatever.
yeah.
And yeah, he really wanted that to be kind of there. Or so I was like, and I had what do they call it? Anycubic said, "Hey, would you consider printing with our filament?" And I said, "Sure." So they had one on Amazon they wanted me to take a look at. So this is actually their white PLA, and it actually looks almost like a natural PLA, but you can't tell because of the exposure on the camera. But I mean, not that long ago, this thing was spitting out spaghetti, and now it's printing out a pretty good product. So
Yeah. I'm actually surprised how good the Frown King's printing right now. If I could get it quieter, thing is so freaking loud.
oh, I'll
I
bet.
forgot how loud it is to not. I mean, both of these now. I mean, this didn't originally. That board is from this printer. That's how old that board is. It's really my original Max Micron board.
Yeah.
And I forgot. I got this thing and it was quiet, and then I bought the Einzy board. The only reason I put the Einzy board in it was to silence it, to make it quieter. And boy, I forgot how loud that thing was before the Einzy board.
Oh
My god! I got a little bit of play money left that I wasn't gonna spend, but I think I'm gonna get a. I think I'm gonna get an MKS Gen L and get a couple or three Trimanic drivers for it. Because I can't have that thing printing next to me. It drives me nuts. It's so
my god! And you can't think, and you're trying to get, and you're just like, it's just aggravating you.
Well, this isn't just my computer. This is my TV and everything.
Yeah.
This is my whole entertainment center right here. So if it's sitting here printing away and I'm like done playing on the computer and I want to watch TV, I can't hear it. I have to put headphones on.
65, 70. But yeah, my son's doing those, what is it, the finger boards or whatever they're called. And he started playing with those and he really likes them. And I was like, well, you know what? I'll make a quarter pipe based on the length of those, the fingerboards. So he can actually set up a little, half pipe on the coffee table kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I got to finish this. I got like 4 or 5 designs. I got to finish the bird. I got to finish this. I got to finish Walter. That's what I should really be working on is the Walter.
Yeah, well, it looks good, but
Walter needs to be finished. He's really close.
Walter.
You've seen that, haven't you?
Probably at one point or another.
The Walter bobblehead.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's really close. It bobbles, but there's not enough. It hits when it moves to the extremes. So I got to get a bit more room or use a different kind of weight or something. I don't know.
So there's a Da Vinci color for just over $1,000 on Gov Deals. Nerd Girls 3D printing. I have 6 Da Vinci. Oh, so Carl's in the chat now.
Yeah, no, he's left. That was
Really
a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, gotta go later.
I don't pay attention to the chat enough, so I'm glad they have the timestamp. I always turn the timestamp on now, so I can be like, well, they said 10 minutes ago they asked me this question, so I'll answer it now.
Running a Da Vinci on Marlin, is that what she's talking about?
Running Marlin on a Da Vinci, yes.
Has that been done?
Yeah, that's what Nick does.
Oh.
It's one of his things. Does he? I don't know. Yes, you can. From what I know.
Oh yeah, 'cause I didn't know that because I thought they had their firmware locked down, but
they do. They have the board locked down, but you can put a bootloader on it like you do any board packet, I believe. I've never done it.
Shep did something too, didn't he?
I think so.
I think Shep did something like 2 or 3 years ago about that because he wanted to jailbreak it so he could use an open filament, but he had to drill a hole in it for something.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, but I think Shep
did because it holds the filament internal, and they have a weird size spool.
Yeah, well, Chuck, I think it was Chuck Hellebuck, I believe. He did
Yeah.
something like a couple years ago where I think he had to pull it apart, and I can't remember what he drilled the hole in. I think it was for the SD card because it had. I think the firmware isn't really locked down. I think you had to actually take the built-in the SD card out, and in order to use like Marlin, you had to actually be able to get to that SD card. I think you had to drill a hole in it to get to it or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just like the Dremels.
Yeah.
Like Rick and Knight, they could be really nice printers and they lock it all down. And I get it. I mean, I know why they do it, but come on.
Printer that is doing the quarter pipe is the printer using the TMZ steppers. No, I am not using TMZ steppers or TMZ. Is it TMZ or TMC?
TMC. Trinamic.
2100, right?
Trinamic.
Yeah, 2130s or whatever it's called.
There's like 6 of them now. There's the 2100s, 2108s, 2208s, 20.
I'm thinking about putting those on the.
There's like 5 or 6 of them now.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting those on the CR10S because that's the one I got to screw with the firmware.
Yeah, but you'd have to put a new board on it.
What, on the CR10S?
Yeah, that's a Melzi board. They're all welded on.
Ooh, that is a good point. The Chiron, I don't have a point in doing that because I cannot get the speeds that I would like out of that thing anyway before it starts freaking out on me.
Well, that would be if you redid the board. A lot of times the motion is not the hardware, it's the board and the motor drivers. People don't realize the motor drivers have more control over your vibrations and all that crap. I mean, to a point, as long as the frame is reasonably well built.
Yeah, well, for whatever reason, the hot end just does not keep up once I get above a certain speed. No matter what temperature I have it set at, and it just causes jams.
Again, that could be just the voltage going to the motor. You could probably key it up because I'm assuming you got a pot adjustment on that.
Oh, probably. But I mean, I got to figure it's like those settings. I mean, to do quality prints anyway, I'm expecting long term. So I don't care. The Chiron or the CR10S is the one that I'm using for my experimenting, and because that's the one that's doing PETG now. And I'll be able to do once I upgrade this, I'll be able to do the TPU as well.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, it is a Bowden setup, so it's going to be sketchy.
Yeah, and it's a big, long Bowden tube, too, which is going to make it even more sketchy.
And it's a Chinese-made Bowden tube with a lot of slack in it, so it's going to be even more sketchy.
You probably aren't going to get good prints out of it.
Probably not.
I mean, you could probably print it, but they just won't be.
Yeah.
You won't get like I get out of that thing.
No, it'd have to be a direct drive for me to get a good quality out of TPU.
You should look into that direct drive hookup because that'll work. Any of the CR10s it'll go on. Any of the Creality or the Creality knockoff.
Well, I've got a direct drive printer.
Well, what the hell you can use that thing for?
It's the FT5.
Oh, you got an FT5? I did not know that.
Yeah, it's under my desk. I haven't had time to work on it.
That should have no problems.
Well, it's the FT5 R1.
Yeah.
It requires a little bit more love, and I got new drivers for it because I was blowing through drivers on it. And
I'd pull the board right off of it and get like an MKS. They used a really cheap board on that.
Yeah, well, and that may be what I end up doing at some point. It's just like I said, I have not had time to work on that thing because the Chiron with the bed crapping out, I had to work on that. And then it did the jam up thing, and it was doing the warping thing, which I found out was because of the heat bed, because of the silicone wires breaking. So it's like I've had all these little things on my primary, meat and potato printers. And the FT5, I love it. It's just that, and I love John, but it's just, I
like Folder Tech. A lot of that thing's mostly Folder Tech. Anything that's not a V-rail, because all the structural ones are not V-rail.
Yeah.
The only place I put actual, V-groove is where I knew a wheel was going to ride. So the 4 uprights and the two across are the only ones that are actual V groove. The rest of it's all Folger Tech, but they're kind of, I don't know. I mean, they're inexpensive and they give an okay kit, but the FT5 is not. The more I almost bought it before I built this.
Well, it's
I
actually
almost bought an FT5, and then I looked at it and I said, you know what? It's got a really crappy freaking board on it. Half the stuff doesn't work. You know,
But it's
everyone's bitching.
really
It doesn't
easy.
even come with a part cooling fan.
no, but it's really easy to upgrade that printer, and which is
Yeah.
the only downside.
Even in today, it's still a good size printer
Oh, it
for
is.
the money.
Yeah, I mean it's.
The realities are darn close to the same price tag to get that size.
But you got to remember,
Almost as big as this.
it's got the same build volume as my CR10S,
Yeah.
and it's twice as big.
Well, it's a box just like this.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's taller than
I
that.
just went Core XY.
Yeah, but it's
Like,
taller than that.
It's really the only difference.
I mean, that thing is almost 3 feet tall.
Yeah. Well,
That's like 2 feet tall.
huh? No.
It looks like a 2 foot square.
It's 500 millimeters cubed.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that's why I didn't, is because the way they set all their stuff, I put all my stuff on top and on the outside, all the mechanics.
Yeah.
So my 500 millimeter frame can do a 450 build volume or bigger. Now it's not right now because I just have a 300 millimeter bed on there because I couldn't afford a 500 millimeter bed. And actually, that's a Folger Tech FT5 bed. That's what's on there is an FT5 bed.
And I like the bed. The linear rails, I put the Tri-Gorilla MOSFET on there to balance the heated bed.
Yep.
I did do the Z end stop modification with the clip-on, adjustment screw.
Yep.
So it's easier to adjust. The thing that I have issues with is the smooth rods
Yeah.
on both sides and the screws.
What's wrong with
So-
the screws?
Yeah, the ball screws.
Yeah, what's wrong with them?
It's just I have to keep them so loose that they go up and down. Otherwise, they jam.
Well, something you don't have built straight then.
Well, it was originally, and it was perfect, and then it just started and I'm like, oh my god. And
Well-
then I need to synchronize the two motors
Yeah.
because they're running separately still. I haven't put the synchronizer system in it yet.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of things
You
that
if you got rid of that stupid cheapo freaking board, because that's the most cheapest of all freaking, what do you call them, boards? That is the cheapest board you can buy. It
Well,
just is. It's like a $5 board.
it's
That's
like
a stacked board. It's a regular Adreno with a ramps on it.
I think it is. Well, I mean, but it's got the nice thing about it is that it does have the swap out drivers on it.
Yeah, but I'd get an MKS board or something like that. If you got an MKS Gen L, they're like $25-$30. You can pop everything right over on it.
Yeah, I don't think
All the plugs and everything the same. An MKS gel is Gen L. You can get $25-$30. You can actually get them for $15 or $16 if you are direct from China.
Yeah, all I've got
You
is
can get them on
the
Amazon anywhere from $25 to $35 without any. And then you can get them with drivers. You can get them with the TMCs on there for like $50 or $60.
Yeah.
But all you really need the TMCs for is the X and the Y. You really don't need them for Z because it's not moving enough that it's ever going to get loud. And the extruder doesn't matter because it's not speed. It's a continuous. So it's not an acceleration deceleration where it generates noise. That's where all the noise is. The noise is not from it running. The noise is it accelerating and decelerating.
Oh yeah. Well, Shane's another good resource for the FT5s because that's all Shane.
Yeah.
Shane loves those things.
Yes, I know he does. I like it. I liked it originally, but the more I looked at it, I'm like, I can build this for the same money and have, a duet Wi-Fi and just so much better everything. And I mean,
there's a reason Paul's bald.
Stuff about it.
There's a reason my friend Paul is bald. You know where nerdy is cool? Because he bought the FT5 R1 just before I did, and he's bald. So it's because he was ripping his hair out from working on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it just didn't. I mean,
He put a Titan arrow on that thing.
well, there you go. It's kind of what
And
I
I think he was working on the Easy Able too, which I'm not really.
That's got an old-fashioned MK8 on it, right?
His has the stock board on it.
No, the hot end. It's an MK8 hot end, isn't it? It is. I know
Yes, I think so.
It's not even an
It's
MK10.
not an MK10. I know that.
No, you don't want an MK8-10. I'm sorry. I think the MK8's better. You know all the problems? Did you watch Chuck's little recent thing about how to fix the enders and how he takes the tube and he puts it in there and then he puts a splice in there and then the main Bowden tube comes in?
Did you see
That's the
what?
difference between an MK8 and MK10. An MK8 uses a 3mm tube or 3mm tube inside the hot end. Then your 4mm tube comes down into it.
Did you see what me and Mike have been doing?
No.
Yeah, I've already done that.
What?
We did it. Me and Mike did it a little. Mike came up with a different idea to what Chuck did. It's very similar, but it's a little bit different. And I've already put that on the CR. I've already put it on the CR10S. That's why it's running PETG right now.
Yeah, it's you just use an MK8. Use an MK8 throat.
I didn't even have to do that. All I had to do was replace my the PTFE tubing that I had in the hot end.
Yeah.
With Capricorn.
Right.
And it's spaced perfectly.
Yeah.
And now it's done. And I had to change
it.
I had to put a special compression fitting on the end, on the top.
Yep.
Because I didn't want to put a spacer in there that was 3D printed. So I dropped a new coupler in there that has a stop it built into it. So the tubing on the inside of the hot end cannot go up through. And then I can plug the actual PTFE tubing into the top of it. So they never meet. So between this tubing and this tubing in the hot end, there's metal. So it just, the filament just goes right into it.
Yeah. So you basically made an MK8 out of your MK10.
Right. Essentially. So now it's printing the PETG at 225 degrees Celsius with no problems.
It should be able to do that anyways.
Yeah.
I'm printing PETG on my MK8s with the Capricorn in it now with it.
Yeah.
Like 240, 250 without an issue. And I actually just pulled the Capricorn because I was running at 250, and I used to regular white crap at 250. And within a week, the tip would get all brown and start curling in.
Oh yeah,
it would start jamming.
Oh
and
yeah,
Capricorn after a month of printing PETG looks brand new. Like I.
Oh yeah, well, did you see that?
That's an all metal hot end, and I took it out and put an MK8 freaking heat break in it with the PTFE in it, and it prints way better than a metal hot end does.
I mean, these are all. I think there's one more. Yeah, these are all. I had to. This is the whole reason I did it is because these are handholds for my son's room.
Yep.
The rock ball. And and I needed to have something that was not PLA because I'm not going to put a lag bolt through this if it was PLA and expect it to stay on the wall.
Why not?
So
PLA is
these are
stronger than PETG.
Huh?
PLA is stronger than PETG.
It's not the strength part.
Yeah, you're worried you're going to crush it and crack it.
Right. So when I push in a lag bolt into this is going to move with that tensioning. Whereas PLA is just going to go.
Yeah, well, to a point.
Yeah, because PLA is much more rigid than.
But it isn't. See, that's what people got to learn. If you get HTPLA.
Oh, that's different, though. That's
HTPLA right here.
Yeah,
See,
that's a hybrid.
Flex. I can flex it.
Yeah, but that's a hybrid.
This isn't even a yield.
Yeah, I'm talking about stock PLA. Yeah. Because, as soon as you start talking about exotics,
that's
you're
all
HTPLA.
The There's not a bit of PETG on it. That printer is all HTPLA.
Yeah. Oh, I would definitely. Over this, I would use HTPLA any day. But it also comes with a much higher price tag, and I had.
It doesn't anymore.
Well, when I bought this PETG, I already had it, so.
Because PETG is actually getting more expensive, and HTPLA is coming down.
Yeah, I mean, I'll gladly switch to that because it has a lower operating temperature for printing.
No, it's the same.
Oh, is it? This was,
I print this at 235.
yeah, this is, well, okay, so this is in the 240.
HTPLA right here.
Yeah, this is in the 240, 250 range because it's the, what do you call it?
You know
The,
what this is? This is Maker Geek Raptor.
nice.
I got like 10 rolls of it still. I bought a boatload of it when I built that. I bought a boatload of it.
I've got like 3 rolls of filament to my name right now.
Oh my god, dude! I got like 2 totes full.
I can't afford to buy it just to buy it. I have to have a purpose for it.
Well, see, I bought it all during like the last 2 summers when I'm rolling in money. See, I'm always right now it's my cringiest part because I always have money all summer because I make decent money in the summer. And then,
Yeah.
you know, I always basically I take half my income and I put it away, and that pays my taxes and it gets me through the winter. Because I make a pretty decent income during the summer, but it's only for like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, I usually have a month in the spring and a month in the winter that's kind of I'm breaking even. I shouldn't even bother working, but you know, it pays the bills that month, so I don't have that extra month of bills. Is all it really does. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the summertime, I always have a spare, so I go nuts.
All right, Tom. I gotta go. I'll probably see you tomorrow
Yeah, probably.
because I gotta go check on my kids.
Are they quiet?
They are, but that could also be bad.
Yes, you do have to check on them. Quiet kids are when they're causing trouble.
Yeah, I know, and I don't hear my
already
keyboard.
cause trouble.
I don't hear the
But
keyboard.
you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, right. They call the
There's
ambulance.
no lie. When kids go quiet, that's when you got to worry about them.
Oh, I know. If they're okay noise, I can hear them, and I'm like, okay, I know where they are. It's like Doppler. But if I can't hear them, it's like, oh, that's not good.
No, if you can't hear them, there's something bad happening. Anyway, I'm getting off anyway. It's after 9.
All right,
Later, guys.
thanks again, bud.
Whoever's still laying in here. Or even
I know, right? Y'all have a great evening.
Y'all have a good night.
Night, Tom.
Later, man.